Welcome to Monkey Physics IIT JEE NEET Foundations.
Yeah. So in the next point, what we want to know. So the next one is see here. Yeah. So next case. So this is the height from which the object is thrown down with initial velocity u. So of course it's not equal to 0. Now when initial velocity u it is thrown down, then this is regarding we want to know displacement versus time. So displacement is nothing but we also call this as a depth fallen versus time. Depth fallen versus time. So it keeps falling. It's up to some instant t. So how much depth it fallen? Now displacement versus time formula, right? Use what is that formula we can use? Use S is equivalent to ut plus half at square. Now h is equivalent to ut plus half gt square. So h is equivalent to ut plus 5t square because g itself is a 10 we are taking. Is it clear? Yeah. And this is the formula we should rely on. Now let's take example. Now what is that example? It is thrown down with velocity of I'm going to give you 10 meters per second. Now it keep falling. So in 2 seconds, so how much depth it falls? That is the question. Now how do you take this? This formula we should use. Now only I told you, right? So what is the depth fallen? H is equivalent to ut plus half gt square. So h depth of fallen u 10 into how much time they are asking us 2 plus 5. So what is that? 2 square. Because g is 10, 10 by 2 is nothing but 5. So h is equivalent to 20 plus, yeah, it's a 20. So h is equivalent to 40 meters. Now can we look at this in a different way? I mean in an easier way. How can we see that is an easier way? Look at here. As a note, first we should have idea about this. It's a dropped. If this is the case, u is equivalent to 0 you're doing, right? And we did it already. What is that? T equivalent to 1, t equivalent to 2, t equivalent to 3 and so on. How much depth it falls in 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, right? So how much depth it falls? What is the formula? H is equivalent to half gt square. H is equivalent to 5t square directly. Why? Because it is dropped from some height, initial velocity is equal, so this term is equivalent to 0. So the term left over is h is equivalent to half gt square and it is nothing but only this term is left, 5t square. Now we discussed this already, that is the reason I am writing it directly. In 1 second it falls 5 meters. In 2 seconds it falls 20 meters. In 3 seconds it falls 45 meters. In 4 seconds it falls 80 meters and so on. Now to this expression we keep adding this. What is this term? Ut. Every time ut you have to add. What is u in this particular case? U is 10. So after 1 second this 10 is going to become, look at here. So we are going to write it directly. So u is equivalent to 10 meters per second it has fallen. Now t equivalent to 1, t equivalent to 2, t equivalent to 3. The depth it has fallen is, and we know that 5 meters. To that 5 meters I am adding ut. Ut means 10. So how much is that? 15 meters. Okay. So how? Ut plus half at square. Of course half at square t equivalent to 1, 5. Now for the 2 seconds it falls 20 meters in general. But you have to add ut plus to that because this term ut means 20. How much is that? 20. So how much it falls? 40 meters. Now in 3 seconds how much it falls? 3 seconds how much it falls if it is dropped from some height? 45 meters. So you have to add a ut. What is that? 10 into 3. So you have to add 30, 45 is nothing but 75 meters. So this is how we can approach or we can answer it directly. So ut plus half at square. Anyway half at square we did it already in the previous cases. That is the reason I wrote it directly here. Otherwise you can use this formula. You can sort out all these things. Yeah, thank you.